And yes, it's another lovely day in paradise. Here we are out at Nong Kem. I'm going to take a run out to Central Westgate, which is towards the city, then heading north from where we live. There's a DJI store out there. I've been meaning to go back out and check out. We went there once before, I think when the Magic Dude was out here. One of the things I'm looking for is that they've got the DJI Pocket, and I've got to think about this camera's now almost 3 years old. It's still working quite alright, but I've got to keep up with the times. I've looked at the camera that I want to replace this one in. It's 45,000 baht. I simply can't justify that. But the DJI Pocket sort of has the portability that I'm looking for. So I'm going to head out there and look at sort of its options, see how it feels and all that sort of stuff. And again, like I think I saw it on AliExpress, it's like 14,000 baht, which is definitely sort of in the price range that I'd pay for a new camera. And that's it. If it does all the things, then it does all the things. Anyway, car's cooling down slowly. I should close the door if I'm going to cool the car down, shouldn't I? Anyway, don't forget guys, hit that like button. If you're not subscribed, definitely hit that subscribe button. Sorry, Chanya's not with us again today, but we'll get around the shopping centre, have a look at all the Christmas preparations and all that sort of stuff. Anyway, we'll catch you when we get there. So a recent comment on one of the car things I did a few weeks ago was about EV cars, and as I said, I'd not really been aware of it, but here we are out here and here's an EV charging station. It's amazing how the things you don't really recognise because you don't need them, and then somebody just says something and then it becomes a focus of what you're looking for, or sort of, you know what I mean? Yes, so I don't really have a topic for today's little outing. As I said, I want to go to DJI store and have a look at the Pocket, which is ask a few questions and really get a look and feel about it. But I thought today we'd just talk about Thailand in general, some of the little idiosyncrasies, you might just say. Some recent comments on the in the comment section. Sparked a few thought processes in me as well, like the Thai visa, the 90-day check-in. There seemed to be an overall feeling that I was disappointed with Thailand. Come on, guys! I'm just trying to sort of help you realise some of the things you'll have to deal with. Yes, there are other methods. There's a mail method. There's an online method, and as I said in the comments. Seriously, I'd rather ride my bike. That's what I bought the bike for. We've had 3 months of pretty much no riding because, 1 minute is fine, next minute it's raining. This is one of the things you get to deal with here, living in Thailand, if you ride a bike. There's a 3-month period of the year where it rains every second day. And that makes riding uncomfortable, you know what I mean? A few people have been asking about Christmas in Thailand. Is Christmas celebrated here in Thailand? Well, as you can see, there's a whole bunch of Christmas trees around the place and Christmas decorations. So yes, there is a reverence for the Christmas period, but culturally here in Thailand, Christmas is just another day. It's a commercial enterprise. It's not even a registered public holiday here. Yes, it's recognised as a day that Westerners, have big feasts and everything else. But pretty much from the Thai perspective, it's just another day in the calendar. We have some like 19 public holidays a year already, and Christmas, quite frankly, isn't one of them. They like to do their shops up and they like to, make it all pretty, but that's, Thailand people do that anyway. They just like pretty things. So that's part of Christmas, I guess. Normally they have sort of quite a big, you know, showing of a big tree somewhere. We'll see if we can find that anyway. And there we go. There's the DJI store over there. I was in the completely wrong area. Typical. Right, that's another thing you're going to have to get used to over here is and the impermanency of retail stores. Seriously, they can come and go like, you know, in a matter of months. And like something specific like DJI, well, unless of course they're supported by their parent company, you know, globally, you know, they tend to be a little bit out of the price range for most Thais, so how they pay the rent here is a little bit difficult to understand. I think it's more about the advertising presence that they're trying to achieve here. So here we are.
Small.
Like, it is small, isn't it? Like, you know, like the pictures I saw online.
You can bottom power.
Oh, okay, there we go. Yeah, so it's, yeah, it's got a very, very small screen. Like, again, this is one of the things I'm going to get challenged with, is, you know, framing. Like, here we are. You can probably see that if I zoom in with this camera here, it's a pretty small window, but it's something that helps you put the person in the camera. Now, again, that little square is like a 4x3 or a 4. It's actually almost a square. One of the things I don't know there is it actually a 16:9? I'm going to have to actually talk to somebody, see if we can work through the language on this one. The camera itself, or the actual whole device, seems to be actually lacking quite a bit in features or buttons, apart from an on and off function on the actual camera itself. It's got a little plug device that you plug your phone into on the side, and now he's just basically pairing it up to obviously change some of the features of the camera. I'm just saying, the question I'm asking here is default is 4K 60 frames per second. I would prefer to be using less power, which is one of the things I've noticed with my my sports camera. It might be 4K, but when I switch to 1080p at 60 frames per second, the battery lasts twice as long. So, you know, making sure that we can actually switch down to 1080p, that would be one of the things I'd be looking at here to make sure that that function works as well. So, of course, you know, they do require a memory card to drive them, so that's something we have to obviously factor into the price. I'm not quite sure what they come with default. I'd probably go for a 64 gig card because I've never used the 64 gig in these cameras already. At most I've filled half a card. But they got a 2-hour battery life. This is at 4K 60 frames per second, which is pretty good. One of the questions I've got is, of course, how do I get an extension arm for it so I can get a better framing shot, you know, from a distance. I've checked some videos out online already for the audio pickup quality. That all seems quite reasonable. Probably as good as this one here, at least, anyway. But it comes down to price. Now, the price that they're offering here in the store is 13,500 baht, which is definitely in my budget. AliExpress can do it for about, when you do the conversions, about 11,500. So you're going to save 2,000 baht. But then again, if you have a problem with it, AliExpress are very, very reluctant to sort of effect a warranty process because there's a lot of third-party distribution and it's not even in the country. Whereas, as the gentleman here sort of says, he will take care. If I have a problem, he will take care of me very good. Golf. They think I talk Thai good? No. Talk Thaiนิดหน่อย. Anyway, let's continue the conversation. Well, yes, I'm very, very interested in it. I didn't really, like, you've seen the pictures, but you never really know how those things are going to turn out. It is very, very small. And, you know, like, as you said, there's a whole bunch of accessories coming out in the next 3 months. One thing I'm looking for is the, what they call the selfie stick. Again, this just helps get a better framing of the shot. Again, sort of, you know, what I'm doing here, like that camera's maybe sort of 2.5, 3 feet away, and that's what I call a good frame for a video. You know, a lot of people do these sort of videos, and I think that that's just too in your face. And also you can see all my freckles. That's a better position, and again you can see what's going on behind me as well, which is part of the enjoyment of wandering out in these shopping centres. Okay, the camera doesn't have that camera feature, which I use on this camera from time to time. It doesn't have zoom, but again, I'm going to extend the life of this camera. It'll probably still go with me for those shots that I need to take, and then we'll just splice video together. But all in all, it's actually not a bad looking piece of equipment. It doesn't seem to have a data jack, so I'm going to have to obviously get a sort of a SIM card reader, pop the card in and out of the thing all the time, I would guess. Or maybe you just transfer the video across to your phone, which means a double handling process, which might be a bit inconvenient. But again, it's 4K. Could be just useful for those situations where the high resolution will really help enhance the video. Not the fact that you can really see 4K any better than 1080p or even 720 on a mobile device. And then again, when you're watching on a mobile device, nobody's eyesight's that good, seriously. All you're doing is just sucking down more data to watch the same video. And I've got 55% of my audience watches these videos on mobile devices. So why we go to the extent of going to 4K, it's really more branding than anything else. But again, sometimes it's just nice. If I start doing cinematography sort of video, it might work better for that. The sports camera does 4K. This camera I'm using now only does 1080p, but then the DJI Pocket does the 4K. So that's going to cover both those angles. Anyway, look, it probably sounds like I'm rambling again. I'm going to continue to wander around, grab a bite to eat. I've seen what I wanted to see. I'm here to help you guys, ask questions. The more questions people ask me on this channel will help drive the sort of content that I do. I basically have this level of priority. Like if I'm going out with Chanya, that's the #1 priority, but that only going to have an opportunity about once a week. Whereas, it's starting to get a bit noisy here, isn't it? Probably the second priority is if I got something to do outside the house, I'll go and do that. Like today, I'm going shopping. I like to hang out and do things with the family when the family's doing things, but again, we don't, we're not out and about touring the country. So, family events like the Wat Tamai with Mother's Day or Mother's birthday, that was again something that just came up and it was a nice day out. I've said this before, when I'm not out and about, I'm at home on my computer either answering questions, dealing with Facebook queries, dealing with comments on the YouTube channel and various emails and everything else people send me. There's no charge. I don't expect any payments for any of that sort of stuff. I'm trying to help enough people here understand and get a real feel for Thailand. And that really can only be done one-on-one. It does take a good deal of my time. And again, when I'm not doing that, I'm playing video games. As I said, we've done one live stream of me playing a video game for 4 hours. A few people have said they'd like to see more of that. A lot of people have said, no, it's not what I come to your channel for. How do you please everybody? It's just one of those impossible tasks. But again, the whole channel is about my life and what I do to keep myself busy and occupied. And quite frankly, most of my living in Thailand is very occupied. Trying to find times to juggle. It does happen all the time, juggling this, juggling that, juggling everything. Anyway, guys, I have mentioned the fact that this shopping centre is on the end of the purple line, which you can get to from the centre of Bangkok. I'm not quite sure what the price is. It's probably maximum 59 baht to get out here. Yeah, that's a nice feature. Interesting use of the LEDs. Well, anyway, so here we are, back at the Christmas tree. It's actually quite large, nicely adorned, as all Christmas trees should be. But as I said, here we are. It is Christmas time, so it's Merry Christmas from me and from Chanya, and I hope all you people out there are going to have a happy and prosperous New Year. So peace out, guys. Here's the shot for the front cover. Merry Christmas. Bye for now.